Hey guys, HVY Gene, and welcome to the GTA 5 car episode of the Insurgent Armed going against Dubsta 6x6. Now, regarding yesterday's video on 1st of April, of course, April's Fool joke, and it was just a sort of a response generalizing the GTA 5 community the way I see it. I feel like there's a lot of closed-minded people out there who seem to be, getting exploited. So I'm here to help, trying to open some people's eyes, but it seemed like 400 people that disliked that video don't seem to have the open mind in regards to the exploitation that occurs currently through these games. But hey, it is what it is. You know, it's life. You deal with it. Some people at certain stages, and they will understand in the later point of their life when they realize, holy shit, I just wasted my time from my childhood. Anyway, moving on straight onto this comparison, we've got Dubsta 6x6. Obviously, when it comes to handling, it's quite shit. Put it that way. You know, it doesn't want to maneuver, it doesn't want to turn, it wants to keep on the steering, and that's understandable. 6 wheels, trying to drag it across, yeah, okay. Whereas this is just rear wheel drive. Insurgent, absolutely amazing. You carry a lot of speed, and it just turns. It's beautiful, it's predictable, and it's extremely comfortable. Though it's rather big and it's quite heavy, but it still does the work, and it just sticks. It sticks on these surfaces. But however, the general performance on the Dubsta once again shoots off. Acceleration as well as top speed. It just dominates the scene. But it doesn't really show on a track though, that's the thing. Because having to generate that speed through the corners due to its bad handling is not there. So that's where it's losing out a lot on an actual track, even on off-road as well, you'll see later on. Now, of course here, the Insurgent is producing more power. But what lets the Insurgent down is the initial weight, which you'll see later on as well. Customization, there's no customization options on Insurgent, apart from the fact you can change the color and the rims, I guess. But when it comes to the Dubsta 6x6, you've got 17 options in total. So this is where it sort of is nice to get a little bit of variety with the options and what you want to choose. Now, when it comes to the lap test, like I said, if you consider the handling of the Insurgent, although in Dubsta 6x6 with insane acceleration and top speed, the Insurgent is able to keep the speed that you generate through acceleration around these corners due to its turning circle and its efficiency when taking a corner. You know, it doesn't oversteer or understeer at all pretty much, and you can literally, when you hit the brakes, it just turns. You know, although it's extremely heavy and big, but surprisingly it maneuvers well because of its rear wheel drive mechanism. So that's the difference. The main difference that you can see how quick the Insurgent is pretty much around these corners, carrying all the speed, whereas Dubsta 6x6 almost as if you're dragging it. By the way, this comparison is relatable on off-road as well, although in off-road there's so many different variables, bumps and stuff, but I'll explain that once the off-road comparison comes into play later in this video, right after the lap test. But you can see how the Insurgent is flying through this section, literally just tap the left stick and it will just swift left right, carrying that speed. Whereas the Dubsta, you can see once again struggling in these conditions. But you know, this is if you want to see this perspective, is there for you. For those of you that don't care, this probably would not matter whatsoever. But it's nice to see a comparison of all sorts of different aspects, although you've seen the top speed and acceleration. But in this point of view, is a completely different scenario because the handling does take a huge part between both these actually. So see, it's quite far ahead now and taking this final turn here, and it's going to get a pretty quick lap, you know, considering that the previous episode Dubsta got 141.3, the Insurgent gets a 138.942, which is pretty damn quick. Oh shit, I just dropped my mic, my bad. Holy shit. Hello testing 1 2. Okay, now coming into the off-road test, we have the waiting depth. This once again was kind of crazy. The Insurgent actually made it through that, although literally the entirety actually sunk in, whereas Dubsta 6x6 literally dies as it just goes, it just splat dead. So I guess you can explore a little bit more with the Insurgent in certain areas which you want to try and get across a little deep river or whatnot. But when it comes to uphill, there's no traction whatsoever. It's horrible for the Insurgent. It doesn't want to pull. However, if you do a little bit of the R2 trick to you know, gain a little bit of traction, it still sucks when it pulls uphill. It's mainly because of its weight, you know. So when it comes to the durability, Insurgent, of course, it's armed, it's already extremely strong even without having to put armor on, whereas as you can see here clearly the Dubsta 6x6 just is quite weak, put it that way, as opposed to the Insurgent. When it comes to stability though, certainly Insurgent is quite stable. In certain situations, you can easily recover, you know, get a little bit of air and just sort of gets back into onto its four wheels right off the bat, and you can easily maneuver around with it as well. But you know, it's just because it's rear wheel drive. That's why it's not really that great on off-roading for up hills and whatnot, and even rock climbing here as well. It's not very efficient, and so you know, traction is not there in these situations, and it's just, you know, although it maneuvers, but in these situations it's not efficient. That's the only downfall. Obviously, its ground clearance is not that great as well, so going over these small rocks and whatnot, it's gonna get stuck just like that. And the Dubsta brother's got to help out there, fellow brother helping out, but turns out, you know, Insurgent got cocky and wanted to do it himself. And you know what? You know, karma's gonna hit you hard, bro. It's gonna hit you hard. You know, it's like, oh shit, look, wait, look, I got this. I got this. Let me do the L2 trick with a reverse. And I was like, Dubsta's like, fuck it. You know, you had too much time. My guy reverses, and I'm dead. Dubsta just takes it there in that situation. But at the end of the day, both of them actually do end up drawing. So it all comes down to your preference. If you like rock climbing and off-roading, of course, go with the Dubsta 6x6. If you like maneuvering and stability, then go with Insurgent. It's nice to see that both of these have their ups and downs, but at the end of the day, it's all down to preference and what you guys prefer. So on that note, let me know in the comments below which one you guys would choose for your off-roading, and expect to see the other comparisons to finish off the off-road comparisons. So let me know in the comments below what else you guys want to see in comparison with the Insurgent. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to subscribe for more GTA 5 car informational videos. That felt cringy to say. Holy check your son now. Good night, peace. Yeah. Right, now that the video is over, I can actually talk about stuff regarding yesterday's video. I touched on a little bit at the beginning of the video, but I wanted to get the main point across out of this video with the comparison, so I don't make this into a clickbait thing where you guys click for the wrong reasons. As you know, most of the GTA 5 YouTubers do that these days. But hey, it is what it is. That's the whole point of the video yesterday. It was April Fool's, obviously April the 1st. It was all supposed to be a joke, but at the same time, it was sort of my point of view and generalization of GTA 5 community, the way it stands at this very moment. Of course, the video yesterday, I was obviously acting, you know, it was all pretending. If that was actually me being like that, and that personality, that fake persona I was putting on, I would delete my YouTube channel right now, because that is obviously cringe-worthy stuff. And that's exactly the point I was trying to put across. You know, these GTA 5 YouTubers doing this is all cringe-worthy stuff, because essentially in real life, they won't be like that. They won't be super excited. They're just boring old motherfuckers. Just same old stale people just like us, you know, just like anyone else that could easily do what they're doing right now, but they're taking advantage of the system, which is absolutely broken, by the way. If I went into detail with the system and how it works and how people manipulate it and exploit it, oh my lord, if I went through all the Skype calls with the same old motherfuckers that you see right now in GTA 5 community, yo, it's disgusting, man, because these guys have no dignity, no morals, nothing. They just want to take advantage and manipulate these kids because these guys are closed-minded. A lot of kids these days don't think twice, and that's the issue, man, because these kids look up to these people, and in the future they'll be influenced by these people and do the same old shit that these guys are doing. That's what I'm trying to say. So it's up to these people with power, essentially these guys who have power now, to do the right thing, but they're not doing the right thing. That's exactly the point I'm trying to make, is that it's up to these guys and their responsibility to use this power for the right reasons and to direct these viewers in the appropriate manner. And that's exactly what my goal was, and one thing I learned from taking a break from YouTube, because I started YouTube at an early age, at the age of 14, right? And I've got a lot of experience for this stuff, and I know exactly how these YouTubers work and how their mindset goes about. And there's a lot of these new guys into the scene that don't understand how the system is supposed to work, instead of exploiting and manipulating the system in order to take advantage of it through getting views and clickbaits and all of this. And it's quite sad. So my final take on this basically is, all I'm saying is just open your minds, open your eyes, and just don't be closed-minded, you know. Just don't believe what you see is in front of you right off the bat. Think twice, you know. If that sort of stuff entertains you, by all means do it, go for it, you know. At the end of the day, I'm not saying this because of jealousy, because if that's the case, then I would not be saying this sort of stuff. Because look, 6 years in YouTube, with all this experience, I could have done exactly what these guys have done. There's no talent in this at all whatsoever. There is literally no talent. There's no knowledge. There's nothing. That's the worst part. You know, this sort of stuff is very easy to do. To get to this stage is very easy to do, but you got to have no dignity and morals to do that. And that's the downside. So, hey, I could be at that position right now if I wanted to, but I decided not to. I'm doing stuff for the right reasons. Hopefully you guys understand that. Of course, that's about it. I don't want to drag this on too much. But anyway, for those of you supporting my videos and those of you supporting that previous video that I posted, I really do appreciate it, man. I haven't done much giving back to my subscribers, but that's the thing. Sometimes I question my own videos as to why these sort of stuff get views, and that's the sort of stuff I go through on a day-to-day basis, because at the end of the day, sometimes this sort of stuff confuses me, because I was never supposed to be a YouTuber in the first place, but it's all it just came across for influence of other people. So here's my sort of take on it. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys next time.